This is the Underground Leadership Movement, Episode 2. My name is Jeremy Sanders. Thank you for joining us today. If you didn't listen to the first episode, it was basically just a description of kind of why we're here, what we're doing, what brought me to this place, kind of what makes it different from the podcast that I host. And so if you didn't listen to that, it's fairly short. Run over, check it out real quick. Really, why I'm here is because I think there is a big hole in the fire service for leadership development. And I don't think there's a lot of people out there that will disagree with that. And so, am I an expert? No. Am I perfect? No. Do I have it all figured out? No. But I'm a leader that has learned a lot. I am a leader that has made a lot of mistakes. I am a leader that has been inspired by a lot of really great people. And so, that being said, I am somebody that has something to give. And so that's what I want to do. I want to give what I can to do my best to make the fire service better. And so that's why we're here. And with that, I will say welcome to the movement. Now, like I described in the first episode, the name is exactly what it is. This is the underground leadership movement. Does that mean it's secret, that I don't want anybody, that I work for to hear it? No, I'm not going to say anything that I wouldn't say at work to them in person. But what I mean by that is that this is for all of us that are formal leaders who are boots on the ground, street level, all the way down to those of us that are brand new that want to become informal leaders, and everywhere in between. Because every one of us are important. Every one of us are important to our crews. Every one of us are important to our departments, and every one of us are important to the fire service. And so we have got to start helping each other get better in any way we can. And so that's why we're here. And that's why I'm so excited to share what I have to give, share my message, and try my best to make each and every one of you better, to add value to your lives. And so thank you for joining me today. Episode 2, I keep wanting to call it 1 because this is basically the first topic in the series. But episode 2, we're going to be talking about putting our people first. And anybody that follows anything that I've done is probably not surprised in the very least that I started here. And to be honest, I wasn't going to start here until this morning. I had plans for starting with a different topic that's also very important, but I realized this morning that this is where I need to start because this is everything that I stand for. This is the core of my message. And so it's got to start here. So that being said, for those of you that haven't heard me talk about it, I run under the title of Crew First Culture. And it's a very simple title, but it means so much to me because that is exactly what I feel is so important as a leader, is to put your crew first. And like I said, that's what we're going to be talking about today. And so to break it down as simple as I possibly can, this is what I believe. I believe that if we take care of our people, if we show them that they are a priority, they will do everything they can to accomplish whatever task is put in front of them. They will do everything they can to make us look good because they know that we care about them, and in turn, they care about us. And so that's really the heart of everything that I stand for as far as the social media, the podcast, my leadership style in life. And so just to kind of sidebar here for a second, like I talk about in a lot of the podcasts, don't just pin this on being a leader at the fire service. Everything that we're going to talk about can be echoed across life. It can be echoed at home as a leader at home. It can be echoed at another job if you aren't a firefighter, but you have another career. All of these are just leadership things. I don't know what the best way to say it. This is just leadership principles. They aren't fire service leadership principles. They are leadership principles. And so for us to truly be better leaders, we have to reach out and we have to learn lessons from others, because learning things on our own, yeah, we're going to learn. We're going to get better eventually, but in no way will it be at the rate that it could be if we are reaching out, learning from others, getting inspired from the great leaders around us, from hearing other people's mistakes and all of that. So that's why we're here. And so as you hear these things, just think about not only how they can apply at the firehouse, but how they can apply at home. So I just wanted to say that. But getting back into it, taking care of your crew, putting them first. When it comes down to it, people just want to be valued. They want to feel valued. They want to feel supported. It's not that hard. I honestly am very confused as to why somebody wouldn't understand that, why somebody would disagree with that, because that is just human nature. We want to feel important. We want to feel valued. We want to feel like we are a part of a team. And so, being as simple as that is, that should make our job as leaders pretty easy, because just taking care of our people, that sets such a groundwork for everything else. And I I apologize. I live on a farm, for those who haven't heard the first episode or anything else, and I'm recording this outside because it's so nice, and I've got baby goats running around on the deck down below me and roosters crowing in the background. So hopefully that is not too distracting. I just really want to be outside today. But anyway, getting back into it. I honestly don't understand why some leaders don't see the importance of taking care of their people. I don't understand why you would neglect what's important to you and think that it's not important to others. Because I guarantee you, those people that don't take care of their people, they dang sure want respect. They want to be, you know, given support. They want to feel valued. So why wouldn't you think that that's the way others feel as well? So that's why I think it's so important. It's just human nature, like I said. Something else as a part of this is people want to know that they aren't alone. They want to know that their leader, their boss, whatever you want to call it, their officer, they want to know that they have their back. That when things go bad, things go sideways, that they have that leader in their corner. And if you think about it, think about this. It's much easier to stand up for what is right when you know that there are others with you, standing beside you, when there are others that have your back, especially if it's that boss, if it's that, you know, that formal leader, the station captain, whatever it is. How much easier is it for us to stand up against adversity or challenges, or just just standing up for what is right. If we know I'm going in it with my team because I know I won't be alone. I know they will have my back because that's how we do it. And that's why I think it's so important. It's so important to know that my boss has my back. And it's so important to make sure as a leader that you help your people to know that you do what it takes to show them that you will have their back and you are in their corner. And so that's another very important piece of all this. So, you know, it's hard to get into this without getting into some culture. And again, we're going back to the name, crew first culture. It's not just, step one of my leadership mantra, whatever it is the culture that I want to create. And it's really centered around me. It's because I am that piece that does it. I either put my crew first or I don't. And so that is a culture that I want to create. I want to create an environment that they know they are safe at, that they know they are valued, that they know that they are supported. And that's a culture. And that's a donkey in the background. but but that is, again, that is the heart of everything I stand for, every message I have to give. And so, you know, getting into that culture, you start talking about culture, and and it it is a long road. It is a lot of work. And the funny thing about culture is that you can either fight for the culture you want, or you can deal with whatever culture just manifests on its own, but it's going to be there. You will not be a part of anything that does not have some type of culture. And like I said, it's going to exist. So you have the choices in front of you. You can either fight for the one that you want, or you can just lay around and accept whatever just happens, whatever culture is created by itself. And I guarantee you, it's not hard to see that if we are just laying around letting culture happen, that's not the best option. And so we have got to step up and start working for the culture that we want. Start working for those positive changes. Start being positive cultural change artists, I guess is the best way to say it. That's what we have to do. If we want to truly make things better, we have got to start doing the work ourselves. So, like I talked about, leadership is hard. If you are a formal leader and you're viewing leadership as easy, if you don't feel like there's much responsibility tied to it, if it's just kind of a way for you to get a little bit of a lesser workload, a little bit more of a paycheck, I don't even know what to say, but that it's not right. Leadership is a weight that you should feel. It is a responsibility. We are responsible for the careers of everybody that's below us. We are responsible for not only preparing our men and women for the job, but to become better people in life. That is our job. And and so, that is something that we really need to kind of start adding into our perspective is, yeah, training our people better, preparing our people better for, the next step. Those are good things. Those are important. But to truly get the most out of our role as a leader, we've got to start focusing on making our people better humans as well. You know, don't ever miss a chance to add value to people's lives. And that's a big statement. And that's really why I'm here. I already do a lot of different things. I have to be very careful about where my time goes. And so, do I have the time to just put into something else? Ah, I have to be careful, very careful, and balance everything out. But is it important? I feel like it's very important because I feel like this is another avenue that I could possibly add some value to others' lives. And so that makes it worth a little bit of weight to me that I need to kind of adjust some other things. So that's that's kind of what I'm talking about is we have to start giving to our people. Leadership, I talked about it being heavy, being a weight, being a responsibility. It also requires a lot of sacrifice. And like I said, starting out, that goes for home too. If you're a leader at home, you are going to have to make some sacrifices. But focusing on work, at the very, very least, it's going to require you sacrificing your self-interest in order to better the team. Like I said, if you're a leader that is self-centered and feels like the world revolves around you, you're not going to have anybody that wants to work for you. You're not going to be making anything better or anyone better. So it's going to take some sacrifice. It's going to take some flexibility, some, well, not some, a lot of humility. And that's just part of the process. And before I go any further, like I said in the first episode, I've at this moment have, I don't know, 12 to 15 different topics. So there's at least 10 more kind of episodes worth of stuff and just what I have at this point. But there will be some times where some of this crosses over, and that's just part of it. I'm not going to be able to talk about creating buy-in without going back and talking about being an example and leading by example. And so, there's going to be some crossover, but I'll try my best to kind of stick to the topics and really kind of approach everything differently each time. But getting back into the culture, getting back into the mindset of taking care of our people. Creating culture, like I said, is hard. It is a slow process. I heard it said once, and I think it's John Dixon. I believe that's right. And if it's not, I apologize. But he said that changing culture is like taking a giant ship and trying to steer it with a tiny little rudder. And I think that is such a great visualization. That giant ship is very important. That is a very, very important piece of equipment, and it's got to go somewhere. It's got a very important destination to reach. So is it going to take a while? Yes. Is it worth the trouble? Is it worth the fight? Is it worth all the energy it's going to take to get there? Absolutely, because it is so important. It is so important for us to reach that culture, to fight for that culture, to gain those little steps towards a better culture. It's so important that it's worth all of that energy and that time. And so even though it's a little bitty rudder, we still have to keep turning it. We still have to keep pushing towards that goal. So I just thought that's a great kind of visualization of that topic. But it comes down to this. It's easy to see what destination you want to reach. It's easy to create what culture you would like in your head. But are you truly willing to put the work into your team and into your culture in order to create something that is special? In order to create a culture that is truly special, are you willing to put that work in? Because I'm here to tell you right now, it is a lot of work. It is going to require consistency, accountability, frustration, patience, but it is so worth all of that. It is so worth going through that process. And I say that, but I will say this. Have I reached that destination? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Is it a true destination? No, I don't think it is. I was using that term as, to help visualize, to help kind of give some visualization to it. But it is not a set place that you get there and you're like, I'm there. I have nothing else to do. It's a direction. I will say that more. It is more of a direction. You're going to be going somewhere. So hopefully you're steering this culture, this giant ship called culture, in the right direction. You're learning along the way. You're gaining personal growth along the way. You're becoming a better leader along the way. And so that's what I have to say about that. It's it's going to take so much of you, but it's so worth it. And there's so many people that will benefit from that. So we just have to keep going. So I think that kind of wraps up what I have to say about this. It's self-explanatory. It doesn't take a lot of just brainstorming to figure out. People want to be valued. People want to be supported. People want to feel like they are a part of something bigger than themselves. So, as leaders, why wouldn't we want to put that as a priority of this is how I'm going to treat my people? So, I just feel like it is really, really easy to see how important this is. Speaking to the young leaders, or maybe even the young ones that aren't even in the position to be leaders yet, keep your eyes open, learn from everybody. You're going to have great leaders. Most likely you're going to have some bad leaders. Learn from them all. Obviously it is so important to learn the lessons that you get from those great leaders, from those people that you just love following. But there is so much to learn from the bad ones as well. It is so it is so good and so important to learn that this is how I do not want to treat my people in the future when I become a leader. These are things that I don't ever want to do to my crew because I know that I hate how it makes me feel. Those are important lessons. And so just want to tell everybody out there that is young, that is kind of in the informal leadership roles, pay attention to what you're going through. Pay attention to what you enjoy from the leaders that you're working with, to what you really don't like from the leaders that you're working for. And then make sure that you remember that when you become in those roles. For the people that are in the roles as formal leaders, it's never too late to get better. You know, we have all made huge mistakes. I try to be very honest about mistakes that I've made and goofy things that I've done because I want people to learn from those. we've also made statements that sooner or later we figure out are not right. They're wrong. Whether we either made them out of just stupidity and running our mouth without any information, or we made them because we truly believed in them, but later on figured out there's information that proves like the other side is right and we're wrong. So that being said, don't be afraid to step up and take responsibility of making a wrong choice, of standing on the wrong side of the fence and fixing that. There's nothing wrong with saying, I was totally wrong on that. I thought I knew the right information. I stood up for something that I thought was right, but it ends up I was totally wrong. And I take that back, and I'm sorry for making such a big deal about it. But I see what's right now. There's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong is seeing that you made a bad choice, seeing that you stood on the wrong side, seeing that you made a mistake and dying on that hill because you are too proud, you have too big of an ego to change anything, to admit that you were wrong. That is wrong. And so, obviously, like I said, we're going to cross over into a lot of things here. I definitely am going to get into a lot of humility and all that, but just keep your eyes open, be watching, be learning, be growing, because that is what is going to help us become better leaders. And it's so important. That is what we need right now as the fire service. We have got to start helping each other become better, become prepared, and just being there for each other. We call it a brotherhood, but we can't call it a brotherhood unless we are there fighting for our brothers and our sisters. So thank you for joining us today. I really appreciate your time. I feel very passionate about some of these topics, a lot of these topics. And so I'll try not to ramble much, but I feel there's such a need to be shared. And so I'm excited to do it. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for spending some time with me today on the Underground Leadership Movement. Until next time, keep working, stay humble, and welcome to the